I am Teacher Camden. In the next 28 minutes of this video, I will explain pretty much the overview of what VIPKid is. How it works, rather, but I haven't actually said what it is. So VIPKid is an online platform where teachers from the United States and Canada have the Native American, North American accent teach students in China. And the ages in China range from like 4 years old to 13 years old. And those students will come to class just like a Skype call. They'll be able to see their PowerPoint. This is my daughter. A PowerPoint with the lesson on it. Each lesson has certain objectives as well as vocabulary and language goals like sentences that are focused on. They teach using the common core that's found in the United States, meaning they're not just going to specifically teach verb, noun, punctuation, clauses. They're not going to specifically teach that. They're going to use a platform, for example, food, okay, or my neighborhood, for example. They're going to use my neighborhood and they'll learn all about my neighborhood and their neighborhood. And within that, they will bring in grammar, vocabulary, English rules, etc. So it's a really healthy and helpful way to learn a language. Anyway, students will sign up for a teacher for that 25-minute lesson based upon the teacher's availability that we have set, and then we'll have that lesson for 25 minutes. So now on to, she wants to go to Burger King. We're not going to Burger King right now. On to the next half hour about VIPKid. Hey guys, my name's Camden, and let me introduce you a little bit to VIPKid. This is my VIPKid classroom. I am out of uniform. You can tell first off because I'm not wearing an orange shirt. Not everyone does, but I do. And I don't have my glasses on, and I have makeup on, and I'm wearing earrings. I usually roll out of bed about 20 minutes before my first class, put on my glasses, and walk down the stairs in my pajamas, sit down, get my whiteboard markers out, and having already looked at the slides the night before, plop myself in this chair, turn on the camera, and off we go for the next 2 hours. So, that is a typical morning of a VIPKid teacher, part-time VIPKid teacher, and it is awesome. I literally feel like it is a miracle that this job exists. So I hope that you feel the same too after we've talked about it. It might sound too good to be true, and it's okay to feel that way, because I still feel that way every day. But it actually is exactly everything that it says it is. And I get a paycheck every month, and it's a really good sized paycheck for what I do. So let's talk a little bit about some things here. I'm in the corner of my kids' playroom with this setup. I guess I can show you. It's not clean, but here's my kids' playroom, and I have just set up my classroom to be right here. I know of people that teach from underneath the staircase of their in the under closet of their staircase. I know people that teach in their closets of their master bedroom. There's lots of different ways to find a space to be a VIPKid teacher. So let's get going. Hours. I kind of mentioned this earlier. I work from 5 to 7 a.m. I live in Utah, Mountain Standard Time. For me, you know, China is 12 hours-ish ahead, and so you just have to do the math. They are done with dinner at that point. Their kids are kind of getting ready for bed, and often we'll have our 30-minute lesson, 25-minute lesson right before they go to bed. You can also work on the weekends and their whole weekend. So lots of people pull all-nighters. So that means that you'll start Friday night here, which is Saturday morning there, and you can teach all Friday night, which is all Saturday for them. And then You can hop on again, the same idea, Saturday night, teach all Saturday night, which is all day Sunday for them. I have not done that yet because I haven't slept for 4 years. I have a 1-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 4-year-old, and my 1-year-old has just started sleeping through the night the past 2 months. So for now, I am good, but that's what I like about this job, and I envision myself here for a long time because I can adjust my hours as needed. Some people teach in the middle of the day, as they kind of learn how they're going to get booked. But most people teach what are called those peak times that are the evenings in China and their weekends as well. So, a little bit more about that. The questions I often get is like, how do you get the students? Well, once you are accepted as a teacher, go through the interview process. You will set your availability. You will click open half-hour slots, and then the students can go to what I imagine as like a big bank of teachers, and they can see us, and we write up a little bio, and we do a bio video. They click on that, and it will link them to your availability that you've set up, and if it works out with their availability, they can click you, and you're all set for a lesson for that week. So the first couple weeks you start out with trial students. They're trying to figure out what Vipkid is, and I love trial students. You get a special incentive if they sign up too, but for the first month or so, that's what I was doing only, was trial classes, and I loved them. And I remember feeling like, I don't know why people talk so much about needing a regular student that keeps coming back, because I was having the time of my life teaching trial classes and seeing these cute new faces at each time and getting used to the feel of Vipkid. I still get trial classes every so often, and it's so fun. So I've been with the company since February. I don't know if I said that, so it's been about 9 months by now, and it's been awesome. Okay, the pay. So the pay, in your first interview, they'll set a pay for you of based on your performance and based on your academic, what's it called? What kind of schooling you've had, etc. You do need a bachelor's degree to apply for Vipkid. Qualifications, for goodness sake, that's the word. Your academic qualifications, and I think they said, well, mine ends up being about $20 an hour, and the beginning part is like $8. They offer you something. I think it's between $7 and $9 a class. And then on top of that, if you do your feedback, if you're on time to your classes, and make sure that you're being a good teacher, then they add $1.50 incentives on top of that. It's just kind of like doing your job, making sure that you fulfill your job's duties. So they pay you per class, they don't pay you per hour. Having said that, when you have all the trial students, with no-shows on a trial student, you'll get half pay. With no-shows on a master student who's actually signed up for the program, you'll still get full pay. And all those details are for later, but those are often questions that I do get. Like I said, I get about $10 a class now, $20 an hour, and that can range, by $1 or $2. What else? You can get pay raises. They are going to push you. They just changed all of the qualifications for the pay raises recently, and I just looked at it and I said, okay, that's what I need to do. Right now I'm not in it for full time. I'm in it for being fun and having some extra money that can sign my kids up for gymnastics and soccer. And so, but there is opportunities for pay raises, and your contract is every 6 months, so I just had my contract renewal in about August. And it got renewed, so hopefully that's this. Vipkid is also really good at, let me see if I was going to talk about it later. They give fun incentives. Like they did an incentive where, here, let me show you. Where they said, okay, design your state's t-shirt or logo. And so, ta-da! Probably some of you guys saw this, but designed and went through many, many drafts of making a logo that represented Utah. Some people liked it, some people didn't, but whatever. It's just a contest. So I did Ski Utah, since it is on a lot of our license plates, and I won. And so they gave me like $100 for that, and now my logo is on all the t-shirts for Utah, and they have little stickers and stuff too. So that's fun. I also just got hired to do some virtual field trips, and so I will take video of certain field trips that they need, certain things that we do in the United States here that would be fun for them to be cultured about, and so I'll get pay for that as well, as needed, as they don't. All I'm saying is there's extra opportunities to get a buck here and there, and I like that about the company. It keeps you creative. Materials. Okay, I have my computer. I have my mouse. I have a whiteboard and markers and orange shirt. Most people teach in. Headphones. I use these headphones right here. These are got on Amazon. They're, I'm not even going to say it. MAIRDI. Like, this is like a call center headphones, and these ones have like a mute button and a volume button. They also have like the calling button, which obviously I don't use. But I started out with just gamers headphones, and they worked great. I just kind of got done with the quality of them, so it went up. Most of my friends that have interviewed with this just put in Apple like earbuds that have a little mic on them, and it works out just fine. That's about all you really need. Having said that, as time goes on, just like in anyone's normal classroom, you're gonna have props and things that honestly mostly were just around my house. I have spent some money on my classroom, and then, you know, with time you kind of make it your own. It's kind of fun to decorate your own classroom. For me, it is. And you'll get used to like what kind of props you use most often, and so maybe you'll print some things out. This is Meg. This is Mike. These are the characters of Vipkid that your students will get to know. Those are really cruddy versions, but I probably used them for, I don't know, 3 months. So some people get really into the materials, and that's fun. You know, it's fun for them. I teach 4 classes a morning, like I said, so I take those 4 classes very seriously. I put my all into those 4 classes, but I ain't got time to do no crazy stuff. So okay, so that's pretty much all you need. I have taught on vacation before. My family lives in San Diego, and I've taken a laptop and just a few of my props that I use often, and I set up in just a corner of my parents' house, and I taught a couple lessons, and, you know, made $60 that I was going to spend later in the day at SeaWorld or whatever, so that worked out well. Prep, I think I've mentioned that. Very minimal. There's an app for Vipkid right here, and when we go on here, it kind of gives you your statistics, how many classes you've taught, etc. But for example, tomorrow, I may go to bookings. Tomorrow, you're gonna see I have my 4 classes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. And this is my student Eric. I've had him 14 times. It tells me all of the former teacher feedback as well as my teacher feedback are found on here. And then I can go to this PPT, view materials. You can do this on your computer as well. And these are loading right now. But the PowerPoint will be right there for you to access. And so you can just flip through. Literally, because I'm more familiar with these now, I teach level 1 through 4. I can just look at the bottom and be like, oh yeah, okay, I know what lesson this is, and I can see just from the small things on the bottom, okay, I'm going to make sure I get my little basketball out, make sure I have my magnifying glass out, make sure that I have my timer on my phone set out, things like that. And those are not required. But like I said, just to make it more my classroom, that's all it takes. That's my prep, you know. And I was probably to that point by month 3. Around month 4, I signed up for pre-VIP Kid, which, to be honest, takes a lot more energy. These are the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, and they just take more energy, just on life in general. But I love that their families are more involved, because most of the time they're seated right there next to them. You get to know mom and dad. You get to know the relationship they have with their student, and it just, warms my heart. Such beautiful families in China. Just awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much my prep. You can do as much or as little as you want. And that's it. Very different than brick and mortar classroom and having to do hours and hours of lesson plans every morning. So, and I feel like I can be so creative still with these PowerPoints. I feel like they're not stifling me. I take them and I put my own spin on them, and as long as I know that my student is learning the material, then I can work on that and refine it for different kinds of students, and it's just wonderful. I just love it. So it reminds me of when we did lesson studies when I was in the elementary school setting, and we would come up with a lesson together. We'd make a PowerPoint, we'd put it up on our smart boards, and the other teachers would actually come, and we would watch each other teach the lesson that we had already prepared together. And we'd come back together and we'd talk about what worked well with the lesson. How can we refine the lesson? How can we refine how we're executing the lesson, or how we're making this lesson meet the needs of the students? And you get to do that over and over and over again, because you teach a lot of the same lessons. And you start to have fun with them, and you start to think, how would this work well with Lily? Or what would Young Han need in this situation? And it's just wonderful. It's awesome. And then I'll talk about this down here. I can't remember, but I can't forget. But there is a really good community of VIP Kid teachers in your area, nationally, and even worldwide, and you can access a lot of their brains too on Facebook and on something called the Hutong, which we'll talk about. Okay, coaching. So VIP Kid really believes in its teachers a lot. They really believe in high quality of teachers, and I appreciate that. I feel valued as a teacher, even though they're all the way in China. I feel like that I am valuable to them. And yes, do I wish that there was a way for them to get to know me personally better? Yes, I do. But do I feel like they're really, really trying hard to do that on a big scale? I absolutely do. And they've done that in many ways. They have Instagram page, they have a Facebook page, they have something called the Hutong that they've created, and also just I feel like the communication and the devotion that they put into the efforts that we try and do as teachers. Like, for example, we have meetups, we get together in the Utah Valley or in the Salt Lake Valley, and they support those, and they put out information about them, and they're just awesome. Just recently I went to a RISE event, and that had breakout sessions where we got to talk about recruiting, we got to talk about TPR, which is total physical response, which pretty much means you get the child to move while they're saying things, as to access better connection with the brain and physical response. Hi, Evan. My 3-year-old just walked in. That's not. Okay, you can sit on my lap for a sec. Okay, so where were we? Okay, yes. So in terms of coaching, are you going to be silly right now? If you're going to be silly, I need you to go watch your show. You want to go play with your toys? Okay, then I need you to not be silly. Okay. Okay. So we get like $40, $50, $60, depending on the month. if one of our referrals makes it through the interview process and then is hired and then teaches their first class, and that's when we get paid that one time $60 or whatever it is, $40. It just depends on what's going on. This is not a multi-level thing where you get paid continuously for how many people you get to sign up. It's not like that. I feel like Vipkid is giving me incentives to make sure that I am hiring good candidates. And with that, I also feel the responsibility to coach you through this process, because the interview process, take a deep breath, it is a lot of work, especially when online teaching is not something that you've been used to as a teacher or as a student. It's a new community. It's a new way of doing things. It is so doable. But like anything else, having an inside scoop of the culture that goes along with this job is just invaluable. So, as your coach, I have coached many people that have used or not used my referral ID. I just feel like it's my way to give back, because this job has helped me in so many ways. But when you do sign up using my referral ID, please let me know. I'm notified, but I'd love to know and get an email from you at least, or a Facebook message or whatever to you, so that we can set up some coaching. What that will consist of is taking a look at, number one, your 10-minute lesson that you need to prepare for your first initial interview. And, oh, there's some tears coming. You okay? No. Oh, sweets. Take my ball. What'd she take? My bounce. Oh dear, you're bouncy? Yeah. Oh, the ball. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. That would be frustrating. Can you give me like 5 more minutes? Here, I'll let you look at my phone. I know. You are so excited. Mama Beer Award. Okay, so yeah, so my coaching, we're going to take a look at your 10-minute lesson that they will send you the PowerPoints with, and we're going to teach you a little bit about online teaching and getting the kids involved, and how fast or slow your voice should be, and fluctuations, and what objects you should use, and how to make yourself feel comfortable as an online teacher. I don't want you to become a mannequin. I don't want you to become a mannequin. What I mean is feel like you're fit in a box, but at the same time, you want to show your very best stuff from the get-go. And you get this shot, right? This is the shot you get. So if you get through that 10-minute interview with your your interview plus your 10-minute lesson, then they will send you on to what we call Mock 1, and they'll send you another PowerPoint. You'll have another lesson to prepare. It's a little bit longer. Sometimes you'll go through, right, and be hired after that. Other times they'll take you to the second. That's a lot more likely nowadays. There's just a lot of teachers applying, which is great. You go to Mock 2, and same thing. You'll show them all your good stuff, and I'm going to be there to coach you through each one of those things with 9 months of experience and having taught a lot of lessons. Am I the most qualified? No, but am I a really good coach? I think I'll be pretty good. I think I get you through it. And people that take advantage of doing a Skype call with me with some feedback, not a single one of those people have not gotten hired. Now, mind you, there's first time for everything, and it doesn't mean that you're bad or that I'm bad, but that there's just more things to work on. For example, I have a friend, and I will not mention her name, but she lived in my old neighborhood, and she applied 3 times for this job. And the 3rd time, something happened with her paperwork, and it got all mixed up, and she had to keep going for another month or 2 even after that without getting anyone booking her. And so she kept communicating with China, and somehow something got lost in the paperwork, and she just kept pushing through, and she is persistent, and she is now teaching a ton. So I'm really proud of her, number one, but also persistence. If this is a job you want, then make it happen, and they'll recognize that. Make it happen, and I'll help you. Also, if the first time through doesn't work, let's do a second time through. But it's always going to be better to do this process the least amount of times, because it is quite the process. Okay. Okay, the Hutong. So there's a community that's associated with VIP Kid. It's a website, and they have a lot of fun challenges. Like, you get to learn about Chinese culture, and you win these little tokens, and they'll have funny things like show us your Halloween classroom, and you'll post a picture. It's just a way for us to get to know each other a little bit more, for us to be cultured more about China, and to enjoy a community in the job where really it's just me and my computer, and this is my job. You are an independently contracted, so that means you will pay for taxes at the end of, during tax season. You have your own business, and you just use the VIP Kid platform to teach on. What else am I forgetting about that? Okay, so you get weekly emails, and it's on the Hutong, of a weekly newsletter of things that are going on, and that's what keeps you up to date as a teacher, to know if there's things you should look out for. Here's an example. I teach level 1 students, which is called Pre-VIP Kid, and those level 1 students, their slides look a little bit different because they're basic. This is their first time a lot of the time being even introduced to English, and anyway, long story short, there used to be teacher instructions at the bottom, and for those who have qualified to teach level 1 Pre-VIP Kid, we were just told that those aren't going to be there the same way. They're going to be up at the top, and you have to hover, and blah blah blah. I wouldn't have known that had I not received the weekly email and been up to date on that. It takes me maybe 5 minutes to update myself every week on VIP Kid happenings, and I enjoy it. Honestly, I do. And then, like I said, just a good community of people. When we have hangouts that are going on, or I think they call them meetups, they will post those there. I've been to a couple in Utah already, and they've been a lot of fun. They're just hosted by people like you and me that love their job. I know in Utah in November we're going to be having a pie party, and they've done like Halloween things, and they've done just fun things to get to know each other. I just remembered another cool thing about hiring. They're doing, oh shoot, I cannot remember the term, but they're doing hiring meetups where it's a 4-hour session, and you go to it, and there's quite a few VIP Kid teachers and trainers, and they will actually coach you there, body to body there, right in front of you, not online. And after you've completed those 4 hours, you can bypass that first initial 10-minute lesson and then go straight to the Mach 1 interviews. And they have those every so often. I know ours are up in Centerville in Utah, and they're starting to become more popular elsewhere. They're not everywhere right now, but they're becoming more popular. So there was something with that I wanted to say also. Anyway, if there's one of those, take advantage. You can still use my ID. Those people are getting the incentive in a different way, but you can still use my ID or whoever else you're associated with's ID, and the teachers there will coach you through the process, and like I would, like the ins and outs of VIP Kid in the community, and motions and voice inflections and speed, etc. I think that's it. 27 minutes. The last time I did this one, it was like a month after I taught, so I wanted to do it again. And lastly, I just want to tell you that even after 9 months, this has been a miracle of a job for me. And I love it. It gets me up in the morning, gets me going. For a long time, I would get up 4:40 a.m., which, yes, is very early, and I do go to bed earlier. I get up, I teach my 4 classes. I started out with 3. And there's so many more details that I need to tell you, but message me, Facebook me, whatever you need to do to get a hold of me. My email is simplykamden@gmail, and I can get to you that way too. But gets me up happy and a good mindset to take on the day. A lot of time I'd go back to sleep because I was just getting used to the hours. Just for an hour. My husband goes to work at 8. And now I don't even need to do that. Now my body's adjusted to it, and I just like the way that I feel better after I've been teaching. I go up and I see my girls afterward upstairs and get them ready for their things and exercise. Anyway, it's really helped those endorphins coming back into my life while doing the thing that I love most, which is teaching. And I get to spend the rest of the day being with my kids. So that's all I have for you. I hope that was helpful and not too boring. But if it was, I'm sorry. So once again, this is an introduction. You can shoot off to other people. I will leave my referral ID in the notes below. Good luck, people. Please contact me. I'd love to hear from you. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.